Right.
Yeah.
Let's see if we get everybody in. Welcome, everybody. As usual, Wednesday, it's the 14th. I actually had to check the day today, and reason being is I don't know about you, Maher, but I have been thinking all day that today is Thursday. I woke up with that mindset. So just before we start, just to remind everybody that this is our Mindset Matters session. And this week we are looking at defeat, fear, rejection, and procrastination. And it's going to be a wealth of information for you all. And I am so privileged and honored to have Maher Awad as my co-host. He has an amazing background in all of the topics that we talk about. He's a disciplined leader and an accomplished entrepreneur. He is not just a one, I would say, opportunity person. He works in multiple disciplines across multiple sectors, including distribution, manufacturing, commercial real estate investment, actively trades in Forex, crypto, and stocks. And he is the co founder of QBN and has a huge asset of being able to speak multiple languages, which enables him to connect globally. And beyond business, I think this is the most exciting, I would say, you've got this amazing skill of being a seventh degree black belt holder in Shaolin Kung Fu. And that is what many people may not know. And it's a reflection of your decades of work and discipline and mastery. And when we talk about mindset and we talk about different techniques and ways that we can develop and grow as leaders, Maher is your man. So welcome, Maher, to the session, and we are looking forward to discussing our topic today.
So much, Shazia. It's a pleasure to be here. It's great to see so many people here. I see family, Mahmoud, my cousins, tenants. I mean, I've networked with so many people. I love to network. So before I start off today's session, I want to hand it back to you, Shazia, because what an amazing person to do a co-host with. I mean, there's so many people in this world, but you are an amazing individual. And so, co-hosting with me, for everybody on the call, for those of you that don't know Shazia, we've known each other for about 5 or 6 years, and every year our bond continues to grow. We network with each other, we learn from each other. Shazia, she's an educator, she's an entrepreneur, she's an author. She recently wrote a book. I didn't bring it with me; it's at my other desk. But started reading her book, so congratulations on that. You can find it on Amazon. She has 20 years of global experience. She holds a doctorate in education. She studied and implemented many, many principles throughout her career. She's currently advancing her expertise as an LPL master practitioner. She's deeply passionate about helping others, and that's why she's here to extract the mindset and discipline required for profound transformation. So, guided by her principles in the book, Love and Leverage the Freedom Code. So it is available on Amazon, and I'm really looking forward to reading that book. And Shazia has been more than just a successful entrepreneur. She's an amazing human being, a great mother, and a great friend to all those around her. And her purpose in this world is really elevate others and empower others. And that's why we started this Mindset Matters Zoom call weekly, which are being recorded. They'll be uploaded to our platform, Qminds. Of course, my name is Maher Awad, co-founder of QBN, and thank you, Shazia, for the wonderful introduction. Today, we want to talk about a topic that every one of us have faced, including myself. You can talk about the wealthiest individuals in the world. You could talk about the co-founders and owners of Apple and Facebook and all these multi-billion-dollar industries. They have also faced fear and procrastination and rejection throughout their lifetime. So this is something that we can all relate to. And today we're going to talk about what causes these, how to overcome them, and how to achieve success in your life. Okay. Remember, they're all interconnected. When we fear rejection, we procrastinate. And when we procrastinate, that leads to defeat and not achieving these tasks. I I listen to TikTok a little bit sometimes, and there was one little video that I saw this morning. It says, when you get up every morning, program your mind to say, do it now, do it now, do it now. The key to overcoming procrastination is to have a sense of urgency. Okay. The moment you start thinking, and every one of us can relate, when you have a problem to solve or a task to do, we start thinking, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to do it? No, just do it now. Have that sense of urgency. There was a study done by University of 104 of the top executives. There, they listed two main qualities. One was to set your priorities, and the second one was to get the job done fast. And so, to having that sense of urgency is a true example. And I'm going to give myself as an example. And this is something to do. Everyone on this call, you guys have heard the benefits of cold showers, right? How it helps your body, and it has a lot of benefits for your internal organs, for your skin, but it also does something for your mindset. And I started this practice a few years ago. I turn before I'm done with my shower, I turn on the shower as cold as it can be, and I sit there for 30 seconds. I don't think about it. I just do it. I program my mind that I'm in charge. Okay. The mind starts telling you, okay, you're going to be cold. It's not going to feel good. Back out. Don't do it. But remember, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about mastering your mind, your inner voice. So if you don't master your inner voice, it's going to master you. So all these sessions tie in together. So start practicing on do it now, having that sense of urgency. And that's the first step in moving into that overcoming fears and procrastination. I'm going to let Shazia take over for a little bit. She has a couple of things she wants to say and maybe some slides she'll share
Yeah,
with us.
I always have, but this time I've got this. I thought, let me have a. I was looking for a video. I was thinking about what can we do to set the tone, because obviously we're talking about defeat, as Maher said, fear, rejection, and procrastination. And as Maher said, each and every one of us at some point in our lives feel this, go through it, experience it. If anybody says they don't, then obviously they're not being transparent. And to overcome them, we've got to think out of the box, and we've got to be able to have some emotional literacy, self-awareness, and have great friends. We talked about our inner circle, people we can go and talk to help us. So I came across this video, and I just wanted to share it to set the tone of the session. So I'm smiling because that's what it made me do. I actually got my daughter to watch it when she came home from school as well. So let's see if you find it as amusing as we did. So I just wanted to make sure that I got the volume. So it's a minute of your time.
It's not good. I need this. I'm already late. Somebody will come. Anybody out there? Do you have a phone? No. Sorry. Somebody. Help. There are two people stuck on an escalator and we need help. Now, with somebody, please do something. I don't believe this. You gotta be kidding me. I'm gonna cry. Well, it's not enough left to do. So. Hello. Hey, don't worry about it. I'll fix it in a second. He said he can fix it. Right. All right. That's more like it. He says he can fix it. And today, it's all my plans that I stepped right outside with my guitar in my hands, and the note became a loud as the sound pressed the air, and I picked it up and I just strolled back there because I'm good.
What did you think of that? I'm just going to leave that open. And I know
Very
there's
true.
quite a few comments in the chat box as well.
Yes, feel free to comment in the chat box and share opinions. Give us your thoughts. I mean, anything we discuss. Chime in. We'll read your chats this is engaging. We want people to engage in this and everybody benefit because we all learn from each other. At my level of where I'm at in my life, I've been very blessed, and so I've been able to learn from so many people. And this was something that I want to personally share to everyone on this board. I used to have a fear of public speaking. I was a very shy kid growing up. I didn't like talking in front of people. And the way I overcame that was by being around people that pushed me into the audience. And they motivated me. They said, Maher, you can do this. You're a great talker. You're great with people. And so my first crowd was about 15 people. And then, I've spoken in crowds of 5, 6, 700. I think the largest crowd I spoke at was about 1,000 people. And what I do now to overcome my fear is I don't worry about how many people are in the audience. I say, if there's 1,000 people in the audience, I say, my mind tells me, Maher, that you're just getting ready for 10,000. This is a warm up for you. And so, you program your mind to start overcoming fear. And as far as procrastination is concerned, well, it's rarely about laziness. Procrastination is an emotional regulation. Okay. We procrastinate to avoid the anxiety of the task. Yes or no? Okay. So we have a task that we need to do, and we say, we'll do it later. We'll do it later. I mean, it happens sometimes amongst my children, my employees, and so I'm the type of, if you know me, if you network with me, and if you see me on a regular basis, you ever heard the expression, if you want something done, give it to a busy person? Yeah, that's me. I have a things to do list every morning. It consists of 10, 15, or 20 items, or sometimes 30. And I just go down the list. I don't even think next, what's next. I don't think about how I'm going to accomplish it. I just do it. And so part of overcoming that procrastination is don't overthink it. Just do it. You're going to have to do it eventually, yes or no. So Shazia, I'll go ahead and let you talk.
I'm just reading the chat first. It was, I've got everyone, don't leave that something for today, for tomorrow, and then walk up or down, whatever. We are so programmed, Nasser saying, that isn't that's what we're so programmed. Excellent video. What I thought was, don't wait for an opportunity, make opportunities happen. Common sense is no longer common. And I guess for me, it's more, we're so used to a certain habit or a way of doing, I'm going up the escalators, it's stopped. That means there's a big problem. And we're not thinking out of the box. And often defeat is because we have a very narrow way of thinking and a narrow way of doing things. We are not sort of open to or being exposed to opening our mindset. And Maher, when we talked about our inner circle, that's what that does. It's your people that make you think differently. Even when I was teaching many, many years ago, and I used to teach maths, and as teachers, and I was a master trainer of teachers, and teachers would want kids to learn maths the way they knew it. And if they deviated from the way they knew it, they would be like, hang on a minute, that's not right. And rather than giving them the opportunity to explain, there are more than one way. And I think that's what this whole topic is about reframing it and thinking, if I defeat or get rejection, why? Is the issue actually with me, or the person that has rejected me? What are they thinking? Why are they thinking what they're thinking? And we always beat ourselves up, don't we? Rather than flipping the card over and thinking why.
Absolutely. And I want to add, Shazia, that winners and leaders fail more than anyone else. Because listen, defeat only exists when we quit assigning meaning to failure. Okay. Again, the winners and leaders fail more. Why? Because we attempt more. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. We're always attempting new things, new tasks, new ventures, new business opportunities. We're going to fail. Okay. And that's why it's a true statement when we say winners and leaders fail more than anyone else because we try. And, it's overcoming those failures is how we become successful in learning from those failures.
And Maher, on your that particular point, I had written this down for today. You can be the ripest and the juiciest peach in the world, and there will still be someone who hates peaches or
Yes.
hates the juiciness of those peaches. And it was Dita Van Teese. But what I'm saying is that it doesn't matter. We're all going to have different perceptions. We're going to all have a different lens. And what will be viewed through one may not necessarily be another. And you're right. If you watch biographies of all these success stories, even you talk about Jack Ma, they all talk about failure, rejection, university study, business rejection, seed funding rejection, belief in their business opportunity rejection. Their plan wasn't working. What was the one quality, Maher, that they all had that led them to where they are today? Their grit, wasn't it? It was their self-belief. And they kept on going. Their vision was strong. And the people that around them that didn't believe in them, they started dropping and they started building their own community.
Fear is not danger. Don't associate fear with danger. Fear is not danger. It's just unfamiliarity. Okay. So fear shows up before growth, not before failure. Okay. So what if it doesn't work? That's what fear asks you. Leaders say, well, what if it does? Okay. That's my mindset. So the fear mindset or fixed mindset, what if it doesn't work? That's your mindset talking to you. Overcoming and controlling your mindset. Now you start asking, what if it does? So here's the shift. Don't eliminate fear. Just move it. Move it with your actions. See, actions reduce fear faster than thinking. And that's why they say, do it now, do it now, do it now. In that video that I saw this morning, is because action reduces fear faster than thinking. There was I read this, I'm reading this book for the fourth time. It's The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. I love that book. And every time I read it, there's some sections in there that talk about fear and procrastination. I highly recommend this book. There are a lot of books out there. There's The Atomic Habit. Is there a book that you would recommend, Shazia, about fear and procrastination?
More than a book, it's more the tools as to what tools are you gonna have in your toolkit that are gonna enable you to remove procrastination. So I've written some down, like break them down into chunks. If something's too big, if the task is too big, how can you break it down? I remember when I was doing my dissertation and I thought, I can't do this. It's not going to happen. And my personal tutor actually sat me down and chunked it up into bite sizes, and we were able to do it. Talk to somebody. I think we sometimes fear talking to people about how we feel because of judgment. But actually, if you've got people around you, when you talk to them, they will again have that opportunity to also share with you. I've also put down a timer. Set yourself a timer in terms of getting your thoughts right, and for the procrastination part, with your goals, your vision board. Remind yourself why you're doing it. Help you overcome your fear. If you think about why you're emotionally connected to what you're doing, that makes a difference. It's really finding something that works for you, because what will work for Carmen might not work for Mahmood. What might work for Patricia might not work for Maher. And it's really knowing yourself and knowing the techniques and strategies that you can put into your toolkit that work for you. For example, when I couldn't get up in the morning to go any form of exercise, I have to use Mel Robbins' 5-4-5-second rule, and really shut my thinking down and not allow me to make that decision. It's too cold outside. It's, the excuses, I have to eliminate them and just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just get up. And once I'm up, I'm up. So I think, Maher, for me, it's more for everybody to find through all the wealth of books that we read. There's not going to be a formula that you can pick up, apply to yourself, but you've got to find what works for you. Alarms don't work for everybody. Timers don't work. Some people get put off by timers rather than get motivated by them. But I think for me is that emotional connection to your goal. When I first started teaching Maher, I couldn't even stand in front of the classroom. I still remember the feedback I got, and it's kind of like rejection and gave me more fear. I was told by my mentor that I was climbing up the radiator, meaning I'd clutched to the radiator at the back. I had knots in my stomach, and there were younger learners. But at the end of the day, a bit like your public speaking, I had to teach. And my fear was if I get it wrong, then what?
Something that, and Shazia, I want to tie procrastination into that too, because uh, people don't always procrastinate because they're lazy. Procrastination, sometimes as parents, we think that our kids are procrastinating. It does, laziness can play a role, but it's not always because of laziness. Sometimes procrastination, especially as adults, because we want it perfect. Okay, we want something to be perfect, so we procrastinate. We fear judgment, we fear failing publicly. So there are a lot of reasons for procrastination. Okay, so the solution is progress. So progress over perfection. It's not going to be perfect, but start the progress, and then action, like we talked about earlier. Take action. That creates clarity. So not the other way around. So I want to ask you guys, what is the smallest action I can take in the next 24 hours? So each each person on this group, whatever you're procrastinating about right now, what action, smallest action I can take to stop from procrastinating? It could be a big project. Something else that has helped me, and I say this in a lot of my mindset speeches that I give as we travel, Shazia, and you've heard me say this over and over again. Don't set goals that are too big. Okay, it's okay to have a big goal, but set achievable goals. That way, you have a sense of reward on the journey to achieving that big goal. Okay, so set achievable goals. And if you don't write down your goals like I do, I highly encourage everyone on this call to write down your goals. So set achievable goals. That will help with your procrastination. I know it helped me in my early years as I continue to grow into multiple areas of my diversification. So set small, actionable goals. So, Shazi, I'm going to head it back to you for a
It's
second.
like Jim Rohn says, if you don't plan, you plan to fail, right? So you're setting these goals, feeding into your bigger vision. Goes back to that chunking of the activity. It feeds into your bigger vision, and that's where you get there. And you're absolutely right. Sometimes people will talk you out, a bit like your multiple ventures. I'm sure some people said you need to focus on one, Maher. If you don't get one right, how are you going to do a multitude? But we're all different, and we're all wired differently. So again, what works for one will not work for another. So reading all of these different self-help books or attending these different mindset development sessions, they're meant to feed you to then find your own success formula that works for you. Goes back to when I was writing the book. I'd planned it, it was sitting there, the draft was there. Then I had to make a decision. And with that decision, I had to tag a timeline. And I had to put a date that I have to. And for me, the motivation was the end of the year. Again, we say New Year's resolutions. Well, actually, what we're doing is, again, we're finding excuses to delay something to start at a particular time. Every day is a new day. All you need to do is decide. Once you've made that decision, write it down. And hey ho, move, as Maher said, action beats perfection. You will make mistakes. If I start doing something in the gym first time, I am going to fall flat on my face. When I first started doing Les Mills sort of body pump, couldn't even keep to the beat. It was too much coordination for me, where you're trying to keep to the music and the movement and the timing. But what happens over time? You only get better, and you're doing it for yourself and for those around you.
There's something that I want to share with everyone as a personal experience, and hopefully you guys can maybe use this for yourself or help you. What's helped me tremendously, both with fear and procrastination, is I focus at the end game. Okay, so for example, the gym, or Shazi, and a lot of people. I started the 100 a day push-ups last Ramadan on March 1st, and I'm going. I'm actually increased it to 150 a day. Every single day, I haven't missed a single day. It sometimes one time I had the flu, but I'm thinking at the end result. What am I going to achieve? Better better body, more tone. When I have tasks I need to do, what is the end result? So why am I doing this? That helps with my procrastination and my fear. So think of the end goal. That's something that helps me. I follow a lot of Stoic philosophy, and there's a Stoic philosopher. You guys have heard of him, Seneca. There's two quotes that I really really tie in what we're talking about today. One is he says we suffer more in our imagination than in reality. Okay, this one ties in with fear. We suffer more in our imagination than reality. Okay, and then one on procrastination that I love is putting things off is the biggest waste of life. It snatches away each day as it comes, and it denies us the present by promising the future. That was by Seneca. I love these two quotes because it's talking about waiting for the perfect time. You know, and it's never going to be a perfect time. It's just a way to lose the only time you actually have by waiting. You're losing precious time, and that in itself was such a powerful quote by Seneca that I'm going to add it to my mindset Zoom calls and moving forward. So Shazia, we're right around into the
And
hour.
just on that, as Maher is saying, you are the youngest you'll ever be today,
Yes.
right? That in
Yes.
itself is powerful. The time waits for nobody, but you are the youngest you will ever be right now, in this moment, in this time. So whatever you want to achieve, do not delay what you want to do, but just take action on one small element. It will give you so much fulfillment because you started. How many of you because it's New Year's, I bet how many of you have joined the gym and sort of pay the membership and either have started and the momentum has already started to slow down. It'd be interesting to see. I can see comments because that's what we do. We hold it to the beginning of the year, thinking new habits, new start, and we slowly start to drop off. I remember, like Maher, maybe it was a Ramadan thing, Maher, last year. When Maher started his push-ups, and he didn't know, we don't coordinate these things. I decided that I needed to take control of my weight loss journey, and I had an NHS health check last week, and I was in my 80 kilos top end of my weight because I'm quite tall, and now I'm in my 60s, and that was just a decision. I mean, I decided that I'm gonna keep it manageable. It's got to fit in my lifestyle. It was started off with the 10K steps in the morning. Yes, watch what you eat, but Maher knows I'm not the best clean eater. So I do like my fizz and a bit of my sweet tooth, but it's getting the balance right. You've got to be able to sustain it. But it's your own decision. You've got to make that decision. So like Maher said, no, even if you're sick, you still do something just to complement that. And now, nearly the next Ramadan, in the next 6 weeks, you feel accomplished that you've made a difference to you can go shopping, buy new clothes.
You know that this is a study that was done. More than 80, of everyone that makes New Year's resolution, more than 80% of those New Year resolutions fail by the end of January. Within the first month, everyone that made a New Year's resolution, more than 80% of those people don't follow through with it. Again, that leads into this topic. Now, I want to read in the chat, my cousin Andres wrote, how do you apply those physical tasks, showering in cold water and daily push-ups that require discipline to business activities that require discipline and result in business success? Can you give examples of business or operational tasks you implement at work to build discipline and achieve success?
Good question. I like
That,
it.
that's an amazing question. That's a very powerful question. Thank you, Andres, first of all, for being on the call and for this question. Now, Dr. Andres Jimenez, he's my cousin in New York, and he's a very accomplished individual. He holds 3 master's degrees and a PhD and a MD. Sorry about that, not a PhD. An MD. He's a medical doctor. He's a professor at Mount Sinai University, and he's also owns an entrepreneur. Um, it's Health Prevent 360. Yes. So you guys Google search Health Prevent 360. We're not here. And I support him 100%. He does an amazing job, and so I think he would be a great example of someone that can give us some examples. But he's asking me how I could implement that into our business, because each of us here are in business. So something that I do, again, going back to what we said earlier, Andres, is don't overthink it. When you have an idea in a new business venture, and the thing most people do is they start brainstorming. Okay, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do that. If you've read many books and if you follow a lot of success stories, successful individuals and leaders around the world, they just say start. Go ahead and start, and everything else will fall in its place. The biggest thing is don't wait for it to be perfect, Andres, because it's not. You're going to have hiccups and you're going to have obstacles throughout your business ventures. And I've implemented systems into my business that I didn't know that were going to work or not. And I kept analyzing and analyzing, and that kept delaying. My thing was go ahead and start and make adjustments during the process. Okay. Again, going back to what I said, don't overthink it and just do it. Do you have anything to add, Shazia, to that? Oh, you're muted.
Nasser wrote a lovely answer. He said to that particular question in the chat, the answer to this is like a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, think of the end result. You have that pot of gold getting started. But I think in more depth, Andres is saying, how do you get motivated to start? Is that what you're asking, Andres? Maybe you could come on the call and say a few words and maybe ask the question, or tell me a little bit about some things that you've overcome, because you're a great example. You and I used to do mindset.
You should be able to unmute now because I changed the setting, and I'll put you in the spotlight as well.
Okay, excellent. Well, it really is about building. So one part of it is starting a task, but I know, and in some of the challenges that I have is it's more of the organizational persistence of things you might do, activities with your staff. If something as simple as a weekly, team meeting, to something more complex like shared tools around, we're gonna, go through a certain number of tickets, or we're going to talk to a certain number of opportunities, like building structures in place like that to build the discipline that leads to, operational, then business success. Because I know you've done an incredible job in that in all aspects of your life, from the physical side to family life to business, being very consistent and persistent. And it was one thing to overcome an obstacle in your face, but sometimes I think when you have that level of persistence, you're probably even dealing with obstacles before they even arise. So that's the area of that I'm particularly interested. I think the health components is very important. You know me, I'm all about prevention. So definitely the health task. But what do you do in your business? Because you're very successful in your business. That may be similar to that helps you achieve success that way.
Thank you. Great question. Creating great habits. So being disciplined and being structured. All right. That's now, Andres, you've known me your entire life. I started discipline at an early age with martial arts, and that has allowed me to create focus, structure, being surrounded by the right people. And we've talked, these are all sessions that we've had, Shazia, in the past, which is, your network is your net worth, the people around you in your circle. We talked about discipline and controlling your mind and overcoming Today, we're talking about overcoming fear and procrastination. So, Andres, basically, to answer your question directly, is every morning, and a lot of you guys know this. Every morning, the first thing I do is I pray. I do my Fajr prayer in the morning, and then I sit in meditation. And so, if you don't do positive affirmations, if you don't practice gratitude and and be thankful for every blessing you have in your life, those are two big things that have achieved success in my family life, my personal life, and my business life. And I've applied that gratitude, being grateful for everything in my life, being surrounded by amazing people, and creating discipline. If you guys don't do this, I highly encourage everyone on this call, and there's 25 people on this call, to take a few minutes and create a routine. If you want to do it after your morning prayer, if you want to do it in the evening before you go to sleep, sit in meditation. Don't turn on the TV. Don't have family around. Just in silence and by yourself. And focus on yourself. Meditate. Be grateful for everything you have in your life. They say that if you have a roof over your head and food on your plate, we're better off than 80% of the world's population. Okay? Having a roof over your head and a food on your table, we're better off than 80% of the world's population. How many homeless people, how many people with diseases and illnesses? You got to be grateful no matter how tough you think your life you have it, someone has it worse. Believe me, someone always has it worse. So, religiously, we're always supposed to be self-conscious on the less fortunate people. That's a big part of our religion, is being self-conscious that there's a lot less fortunate people. So gratitude and affirmations. Tell yourself you're an amazing person. You're a great human being. You're a great leader. You're a great father. Tell yourself that you're a great business owner, that whatever task you have that day, you're going to overcome them. Tell yourself that you're here to help others. You're here to create a business to empower others. Andres, you're creating a business that's going to help people prevent illnesses and diseases. I'm here doing this mindset calls that maybe one thing that I say today will help somebody on this call overcome a fear or a procrastination or a business idea. Okay? So tell yourself positive affirmations every morning. Make it a part of your daily life. Okay? And with positive affirmations, I started adding about 3 years ago visualization. Okay? So when you tell yourself these things, visualize yourself doing these things. Okay? Amazing father, think of yourself loving and hugging and your kids. Amazing husband, taking care of your wife and your family. Amazing business owner, visualize yourself leading a group of people. Andres, leading your team and your group, and see yourself at the head of this business venture. Trust me, the things will line up. Okay, that is my success in all my businesses and everything I do, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Is that affirmation, that gratitude every morning. I'm sorry, I took a lot of time on that one.
No, and as you were speaking, I'd written, act in the role, you like, as Maher was saying. But for me, with that, to complement what Maher said, would be prioritization. When you've got too much going on, you've got to prioritize. And one thing that I used to do was, the 4 Ds. What am I going to do? What am I going to delegate? What am I going to delay because it's not urgent? And what am I going to ditch because it's not necessary? And that then reduces your to-do list and makes it feel less overwhelmed, because what you're going to do is chunked up now. What you're going to delegate, because that's part of what you've got to build, is a structure where you can hand that over to somebody else without the fear of they can't do it better than you, because if you don't do that, you're not going to learn to scale. And then, you've already, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to delegate. What can I delay? It doesn't have to be done today. It's not urgent, but it's there. So take it off for the time being, and then what's irrelevant. Sometimes there are things that we don't have to do and you can ditch them. So we just call them the 4Ds, and it's part of, some of the leadership trainings you go in or interviews, you get to do that intro exercise where they'll put down these emails and various activities that you're expected to do, so that they want to assess in a timed situation, how do you handle the task? Because do you get nervous? Can you remain calm? And can you deal with it? So put yourself through little tests that are practical and assess yourself. And hopefully you'll find a way that works for you. Like Maher has found a way that works for him. And you'll find one as well. So thank you. That was a great question. And I'm also conscious that today we have hit the sort of quarter 2 mark, Maher.
Yes, we have. So as we wrap up this call, any final words from you, Shazia?
Well, I just had a question, as I always do. What's holding you back? Ask yourself, what is holding you back? And the answer is going to be you yourself, really, because if you believe in yourself, you won't hold you back. So I'm going to skip that. And just to do with the rejection is not an indication that you are not chosen. It's a sign that the person who rejected you might have felt threatened by your presence. So this is, again, you've got to learn to reinforce that, let go of those limiting beliefs, those blocks, those fears, and get over them. Change the meaning, reframe your experience. That will help then create momentum. And success is not the final failure. It's not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts. We don't have to see the whole staircase, not like the guy on the escalator. You just have to take that first step, Martin Luther King said. And that, for me, leads to Maher. I was going to just ask you, building on from today and what you've spoken about, I think perfectly the next session would be suited visualization and affirmation for peak performance. What do you think?
Love it. Those are my 2 favorite. That to me is yes.
And
Yes.
I just want everyone to know that we don't plan, we don't rehearse. When we end the call, based on what you guys have come up with, we decide where we lead on to the next one. It's not a sequence that we've got down that is going to be in this particular order. And that's what we love about doing these calls. They're very spontaneous and very much about you guys leading the show with us.
Absolutely. So next week, next Wednesday, 12, invite your friends and family. I think we learned from each other. I learned from you guys asking these questions in the chat. And you guys all have my personal number. As we end this call, I want to give you guys a final message. I tell my kids this a lot. Don't compare yourself with anyone else. Compare yourself with yourself. Are you a better version of yourself tomorrow than you are today? So every level of success requires a new version of yourself. And that version of yourself lives on the other side of discomfort. I'll say it again. Every level of success requires a new version of yourself, and that new version lives on the other side of discomfort. So don't be afraid to be uncomfortable, okay? Thank you, everyone, for being on this call. I value and appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for being in my lives. Thank you for everything that you do, for your love, your communication. I can't wait to see you guys next week. And if you want to reach out to me during the week, I'm always here for you. I love you guys all. Have a great day.
Thank you, everybody. And yes, Nasir, we will incorporate how self-confidence is a foundation to these values with the content of the next session. Thank you, Maher, for always being a phenomenal co-host. And thank you, everybody. Take care. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, where everybody is. Thank you.
Bye-bye.